In this video, military insiders' top secret Akashic Records technique for psychic powers. Now, once upon a time in the Cold War era, the government was cooking up some mind-bending recipes. And this is where Project Stargate comes into play. Super duper secret psychic operation that was as mysterious as the Bermuda Triangle. Stargate's kind of like your latest sci-fi movie, but they're psychics, and it was real life in now declassified documents with the United States military and the CIA. So our story kicks off in the 1970s, and the CIA thought, hey, what if we could spy on our enemies and we could just use our mind? So they wrote a big check with taxpayer money, and the operation began. Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff were the leaders at the Stanford University Research Institute, and they worked with the CIA and the US military to recruit extraordinary psychic powers people. And these were real psychics. They were trained to do psychic warfare, to find missing persons. Now, here's a crazy thing. Their requirement for you to work in the program was at least a 65% accuracy in your psychic ability. And according to the documents, they far exceeded that. Now, from 1990 to 95, they had their payroll expanding larger and larger and larger. And they used three primary techniques in their declassified documents. Coordinate remote viewing, like psychic Google Maps or satellite view. And that's where they were able to take a bird's eye view, and they were able to tell the military specific coordinates for military bases and for missing persons. Now, the second technique they used was extended remote viewing. And this was like a chilled out version of meditation, where they were able to enter rooms on the other side of the world. And in the last one, it was remote viewing through writing. And this is where they did automatic writing to get into their subconscious mind. And they were able to answer the questions that the military needed answers to. Now, when this process was occurring, they called it the 8 Martini hour, the United States military and the CIA, because what was taking place was so crazy and the results were so shocking that they needed 8 martinis to be able to mentally digest the reality-bending situations that were occurring. So, get your 8 martinis. No, actually don't get 8 martinis, because that's a little too much. And basically, the way that this worked is they were able to access the Akashic Records. So what are the Akashic Records? So imagine this ethereal, mind-bending, massive library that's floating somewhere in the cosmic ether, in the invisible world, and it's stacked with every single book that's ever been written, and it stores all information of the past and future that could ever exist. And you just pull it off and you get the answer to everything you need. And that's where the Akashic Records comes into play. If you need imagery, that's the perfect way to imagine it. The best way to think of it is just like an eternal hard drive that has every single thought, emotion, and event in all of human history saved on it. It's sitting there in the ether, and if you get out of your conscious mind, you can access it. And this is exactly what the United States military was doing. Now, what does that mean? Akashic is coming from the Sanskrit word akasha, which means ether or space. And in this sacred library, you are able to get all the records, all the advice that you need, the answers to any problems, the psychic answers like the United States military was doing. They were able to get specific GPS coordinates They were able to locate missing persons in exact cities using psychics. And here's a crazy thing. Even Stephen Hawking, the Yoda of physics, suggested that the universe might have its own type of DVR or TiVo where all the recordings of what might be or what will be or what has been exist in this giant field. And to use his exact words, he said, quote, "Everything that all has, will, or could happen is encoded in a huge field of information. It's so deep that we gotta repeat what he said one more time." He said that everything that can happen, might happen, will happen, and has happened is encoded in a huge, invisible information field. That's the Akashic Records. Now, I understand that that may sound crazy and it sounds over the top, unbelievable, but I invite you to give it a try for yourself. My first experience was when I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. I was 20 years old, I had dropped out of college, and I wanted to pave my own path in life, and I was afraid, I was unsure, I was looking for answers, and I entered a 14-day silent meditation in Thailand with the intention of having some mystical experience from this Akashic Records or otherworldly realm. And on day 5, I had this crazy breakthrough where I left my body, and I was in this ethereal field of energy where I could see my future clearly scripted out. And while I was in this realm, it told me I was gonna write a book about backpacking around the world. I could see it line by line, the annotated table of contents of my entire book, the name of the book. I could see what was gonna happen once I wrote it. The whole thing was clearly scripted out to me. And when I came out of that experience, I ended up writing that book, and all of that information was available to me. So when I went back to write it, I could get back into that state and see the table of contents again. Now, mind you, I dropped out of college. I failed junior English class in high school. I only got into college because I was good at basketball and my mom helped me write my college admission essays. So I wasn't the brightest tool in the shed, but I was able to access this. And you can access this same type of superhuman knowledge. You can use it to get better at sales in your company. You can use it in order to solve problems in your business. You can use it to get any answers that you need. And so I tapped into this field. I wrote the whole book. That book ended up selling 20,000 copies. Then I got a book deal with Penguin Random House, the #1 English publishing company in the world. So this superhuman consciousness is available to you if you give it a try. So I want to give you 3 simple steps that you can take to apply this. Number 1 is to pick a clear intention that you want answers to or clarity around. After you do that, practice bringing this intention into your prayer or meditation. This is where you ask for guidance and the answers, and this is where you practice letting go. And then the 3rd step is to do this every day for 2 weeks until the Akashic Records appear, or until you enter this otherworldly realm where you have this clear universal intelligence speaking to you that can give you the answers and clarity that you need in order to live an amazing life. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you comment down below. I love this video. Woke up at sunrise just to film it outside for you. No, this isn't a green screen. Not a green screen. And so if you enjoy it, smash the like button on this video. Give me a comment down below that says, I love this video. Check out my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. It's my free success hypnosis. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. It's a free success hypnosis MP3 that you can listen to for a few minutes a day to start to reprogram your subconscious mind and turn it into a magnet to attract what you want. If you enjoy this video, I'll link to some of my other declassified government videos on the super amazing power of your mind.